Hi everyone, my name is David Snyder. I'm a CPA with David A. Snyder CPA in Prescott, Arizona, and I'm also an MBA and an EA. Welcome to the Prescott Sunrise Lions Show, presented by the Prescott Media Center at the Prescott Armory. I'm a member of the Prescott Sunrise Lions Club. Please go to prescottsunriselionclub.org to see the projects we participate in, and come to our meeting every Thursday at 7 a.m. at Waffles and More. It's an hour meeting. We generally have a guest who speaks about what they do. This morning we had somebody from Boys to Men, for example. And, they talk about what they do for about a half hour, and we ask them questions. We grill them with questions, and we all have a good camaraderie with all the other nonprofits in the area, and we're really happy to be in Prescott. And our motto, the Prescott Sunrise Line, as well as Lions Clubs International all over the world, is we serve. And that's what we do. There's about 47,000 Lions Clubs in 210 countries around the world. It's the biggest service organization in the world. And we serve the communities that we're in. So we are coming up on our tax season, our tax credit season. There's some numerous rules changes. There is right now, for other tax credits, there's 5 tax credits. There's a Arizona Military Family Relief Fund, which is $400 married filing jointly, and 200 other statuses. And that really needs to be done ASAP, because I think it's going to start closing down because it has a cap of $1 million. And by this time every year, it's already capped out. There's also the school tuition, for example, like Sacred Heart or Primavera, and that's $2,203 this year, married filing jointly, and half of that for other statuses. And that's the school, and the reason that that's so high and the other ones are a little lower is because they don't get these private schools don't get any help from the state. Then there's the public schools tax credit, which is $400 married filing jointly, and 200 other statuses. And you can give to, say, Tri-City. My son goes there. So be excited about that, please. But there's all kinds of schools in the area, but my son goes to Tri-City. But you can give them to all those schools, and they really helps out those schools. Then there is foster care tax credit, which is $1,000 married filing jointly, and 500 other statuses. And that's like Cast for Kids or other foster care programs in the community. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about the charitable organization tax credit, which is a Lions Club tax credit, and that is as well as other organizations in the area. And that is 800 married filing jointly and 400 other statuses. So, for example, if you paid into all these programs and paid in $4,800 to all these programs, and you owed $4,800 on your Arizona tax return, you would owe nothing, and you can get your withholdings back. Now, if you owed $2,000, for example, and you paid in $4,800, then that extra $2,800 can be carried forward up to 5 years on your Arizona tax credit program, on your Arizona tax return. So be excited about that, because you're helping out the community. You're not giving any of this money back to the state, which just wasted on what they want to waste it on. And then you can really enjoy the fact you can control where you send your money to each year that you feel that is the best place that you want to send it to. So send some money to the Prescott Sunrise Lions Club through our program, through our website. It's prescottsunriselionclub.org. And we really would enjoy receiving those funds, but we also help the community. None of this goes to pay anybody or do anything frivolous. It goes all back to the community. We really help out the community. Last year we made $148,000 off of this tax credit program, and almost $148,000 went back to the community. We keep a little bit so that we can for seed money for the next year. But a lot of money went to the community, and it went out in programs like the Webb Family Enrichment Center. So that's one of the programs that you can sign up for and choose. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so the Prescott Sunrise Play Day on September 29th of 2018 was a great success, with the Prescott Police Department beating the Prescott Fire Department in softball, and many burgers and hot dogs and other foodstuffs being eaten. So it was a great success, great time had by all. We all had a lot of fun. We're planning on doing this next year, and we're going to get more people out there. We want more of you to come out and enjoy this great play day that we're having. And what we're going to do is we're going to have more teams play, and we're going to do a couple other things that are exciting for the community. And it's going to be a even better day, a great day had by all. And we're really excited about, we're also starting to plan that right now so that we get the right date, so we get the most people there and the most people that can enjoy that. So, our guest today is Vickey Lamotte, the co-director of the Del E. Webb Family Enrichment Center. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
All right, so Vickey, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay, well, I have been in the Prescott area for about 20 years, and before that I was in California where I was born and raised. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in early childhood education.
Wonderful.
I've spent most of my career working with young children and families in a variety of capacities, so in the classroom with young children, directing programs, leading parent groups, teaching courses at the college level in early childhood education.
We're in college.
Yavapai.
Yavapai College, all right.
Yes, yes.
That's great.
Yes, and also I've done some with Central Arizona College down in Coolidge, teaching online a few courses for them.
All right, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you must enjoy it, because you said you left and you came back.
I did, that's right. Yeah, I was the founding director at the Del E. Webb Family Enrichment Center. It opened in the fall of 2007. And it was a great opportunity for me because they hired me a year before and I got to be involved in the planning of it. So it was a brand new facility. So I was involved in helping to design it with a committee of community members. The community was very active in getting that program launched. And so, yeah, it was a fabulous opportunity to kind of have a vision of what a real quality program for young children would look like and how to best support families, and then being able to put that vision into action and see it come to life. And the other thing about our program, so we're a child development center, meaning that we serve children 3 months through 5 years of age. We're open, Monday through Friday for the whole day. So primarily, our focus is to serve families, parents who are working or in school. We are part of the college, so we do prioritize enrolling the children of students at the college to try to support them.
And faculty?
And staff faculty have like a second tier priority, yes, and then community members. So, yeah, and we do have a fee differential for those different categories as well. So there's a little bit of a discount for students, staff, and faculty, and then there's a community rate. And so in addition to, and when I say high quality, a lot of people talk about high quality childcare, and what does that mean? It means that we hire teachers who are educated. We are on a higher ed institution campus, and so education is important to us. And also people who are passionate about knowing about child development, but also passionate about the potential they have to influence lives positively. I think in the last several decades, science and economists have all caught up to the fact that the early years in a child's life can make a huge difference in the trajectory. Yeah. And so there's a lot of foundational skills that are built. So our program is designed, we hire teachers who are educated and passionate, smaller class sizes, better adult to child ratios, meaning not so many children per child, so that you can give more individualized attention, and so it doesn't become
not children per teacher.
Per teacher, yeah. Did I say it backwards?
You said
I might
per child.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we exceed the state ratios that are required quite significantly. And so we're able to, really assess what children's needs are and support them in whatever area that is, gross motor skills, fine motor skills, social and emotional skills, and then cognitive and intellectual skills. So we kind of focus on the whole child. And then just another huge part of our program is we're a lab school. So that means that we're providing training for students enrolled in early education at Yavapai College, and they're either pursuing a certificate or a degree. And so they have the opportunity to come work in our classrooms under the guidance of our mentor teachers. So it's really like on-the-job training, which is super important in this field because, as you and I have talked about previously, sometimes as a student you get into a field because you have an idea that it's something you want to do, but when you actually get in the trenches and you're doing it, it may or may not be a right fit. So this is a way. This is really a way for students to get a feel for that, and then more importantly, probably also is their skills just blossom. So this is my first lab school experience. Since I started there in 2006 when I started there. At first I wasn't, I'm so sold and so passionate about the importance of these programs for children and families, but I had no idea how passionate I'd also become for how important lab schools are, because seeing the students come in that first semester or second semester and then comparing where they're at in their skill development and their comfortability and their confidence, and seeing them at the end of 2 years, it's just amazing the growth that goes on.
So you say you're teaching from 3 months to 5 years.
Yeah, big span.
So really early.
Really early, yeah. So we have 1 infant room, we have 2 toddler rooms, and then 2 preschool classrooms. And some of the viewers may be aware that there's really a limited amount of childcare opportunities for children that are under 3 in our area. Uh-huh. So those infant and toddler classrooms, there's a high demand for that. This area in the Yavapai region is kind of known as a child care desert, meaning that there's about 3 to 5 times as many children birth to 5 as there are child care slots for those children. So there is a need. We have a very long waiting list, and that kind of breaks my heart because there are people on our list that never get in the program.
Yeah. So is there any plans for expansion maybe?
There isn't right now. So another whole dimension of this is that unlike K through 12 schools that are supported by tax dollars, preschools, child care centers, unless they're affiliated with a school district, there are no public funds that are coming in to support those centers' programs. Okay. So the whole financial picture looks like the more you charge parents, the more you can afford to have those elements I described that make a program quality. But it's very difficult in our area, where we have a lot of families that don't have a lot of money, especially families with young children that can't afford to pay a high amount. It's very hard to replicate the program in an affordable way for parents without some kind of subsidy. So right now, the way our program works is we're part of the college, and because we're serving that lab school function, we have some financial support being embedded in the college. Also, we do a lot of fundraising. So that helps us. Those 2 things primarily, and the fundraising it's multidimensional, so if we have time I can get into that. But those 2 things, bringing in subsidies that way, enables us to keep our costs a little bit more affordable. We also strive really hard to get scholarship money so that we can, because really, to tell you the truth, I told you that we have different tiers of fees. Our student rate could range, depending on the age of the child, from the low 600s to the mid 700s a month. And most students at Yavapai College, I'd say 80 to 90% can't afford that, students that have young children. And so most of those families are helped by also receiving a scholarship through us that we get from a variety of places.
Plus tax credits.
Tax credits is one of the main ways we get those scholarships, so it's super critical for us.
For the low-income people?
Yes, for families that...
People starting out, that sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Families that are 150% of the poverty line or below.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It is.
So, So in the classrooms,
Yes.
you do different things. I mean, I've
Yeah.
I've been around Yavapai College, and I've seen the kids in the
Yeah.
gym, for example, rolling
Right.
balls around and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So tell us what some of those things.
Okay.
What
Well,
kind
you should come on a tour first of all, and also anyone is welcome. We invite people to give us a call. We're happy to set up tours anytime. We like to show off our program because we
Yes.
feel like we do a good job. So every classroom is designed differently around the ages of the child, but there's a structure and a routine to the day, and our focus, like I said, is on learning in all the different, what we call in the field, domains. So there's a lot that is helping children learn how to interact with each other, because social emotional learning is huge, especially in the first 3, 4, 5 years of life. So I mean, you can imagine that, you know, kids are at the younger ages developing language, and then they're developing the skills to be able to interact with other kids, other people, make their ideas and their desires known, but also learn to listen to other people. So
Okay.
there's a lot that happens in terms of that. A lot in terms of supporting thinking skills, problem solving skills, creativity. Some of those kind of basic things that we focus on in the classroom are also things that employers say they're looking for in employees that they're hiring. They're looking for people who are creative problem solvers, who can collaborate with each other. So, you know, we kind of pride ourselves that we're helping to turn out the next generation of, you know, workers that are really conscientious and productive and effective.
Geniuses.
Geniuses. Well, kids are geniuses. That's what I'm passionate about. That, you know, kids are full of potential. It's amazing. And their brains are developing at a super rapid rate. And I know brain science is talked about a lot, and some people feel like it's too much. You know, I don't know if you've heard the tagline, but 90% of a child's brain is formed by the time they're 5. And, you know, some people react like...
Is that true?
It is true. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a generalization because, you know, the brain is more complicated than just being able to give a strict percentage like that. And the brain continues to be plastic and malleable throughout our lives. It's obviously we continue to learn. But what is true is that there are connections being made in the brain at an incredibly rapid pace. And so those connections are happening based on children's experience. And so, for instance, connections around comprehension of language or the world around them, those connections are being made as adults are talking to them and helping them process and explain what's happening to them. So those connections, when they're not made, there are windows for some of those connections to happen. So the more connections and more positive experiences happen at a young age, it really does affect the hardware of the brain. So the child is set up to have a foundation and to be on a trajectory to learn at deeper levels because of the learning that they did at a young age.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
It
So let's
is.
elaborate a little bit on the tax credit. So
Okay.
so I'm going back to the organizational tax credit. Again, it's 800 married filing jointly and 400 other statuses. Come to me and you do your taxes, and then we can figure out if you need to do $182 or $800 or whatever. And I do that until April 15th. You know, I keep them open until April 15th to get these charitable organizations. It used to be called the Working Poor Tax Credit.
Right.
So this money is going to the working poor. It's in the form of those scholarships you're talking about, right?
Yeah. And I just want to back up and say you gave an excellent description of all those options in terms of the Arizona tax credits, because I think it does confuse people how many of those credits there are, and the fact that you can participate in as many of them as you want, as long as you realize that, you know, you're going to get the money back based on your tax liability. But yeah, you did a great job explaining those.
Thank you.
So yeah, we've participated in this program. We've been fortunate enough. I want to also say a huge thanks to the Prescott Sunrise Lions Club, because we were invited to participate as one of the community organizations that benefits from the Prescott Sunrise Lions Club having the ability to collect this tax credit money.
Uh-huh.
And we started back in 2013, and we would publicize it, market it among our families. And the first year we brought in about $12,000, and that was enough to fund 2 scholarships for 2 families. And both were students at that time and really struggling. and to back up a little bit, a lot of the students at Yavapai College are not only are they parents, they're trying to go to school, but they're working part-time too to make it happen. So
Yeah.
it feels really good to be able to support those families in this way. So we started 2013, brought in $12,000, and then every year it's increased. Went to 14, went to 18, went to 24, and then this last year we received $32,000. So that was enough for a monthly scholarship for 5 to 6 families. So it's making a huge difference.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
This is what it's for.
Yeah.
Again, we serve and we want to help the communities and help the good projects of the communities and especially kids. We really focus on kids in our club.
Yeah.
Other clubs in the area, they focus on adults too. So.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It feels like a wonderful opportunity. So we're really working on trying to get the word out this year, and people have until the tax deadline, correct, to make
April 15th.
April 15th. Yeah. So we're going to be really trying to get the word out there because we'd love to double or even triple that and be able to serve that many more people. Just a slight bit of information. I talked about our waiting list. We have over 200 families on our waiting list, and the low-income students do have priority, but what happens is we will call them and offer them a spot, and they won't be able to afford it without a scholarship. And so we have the tax credit scholarships, and then we have 12 to 13 other scholarships through other sources. But those typically are always taken. So unless someone leaves the program, those scholarships are taken, and so the more scholarships we have, the more low-income families
Well, what
we
kind
can
of
serve.
capacity do you have?
We serve about 65 children at a time. And some people have part-time schedules, so we have about 75 families enrolled in the program.
So you wouldn't be
Some
able to do
sibling
200
children.
other extra unless you staffed up, right?
That's right. Yeah, and we don't have the physical capacity for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And when you asked about us expanding, basically, we would need some kind of subsidy, and the college probably wouldn't be willing to extend more into supporting a program at this point. They're supporting us, and it's going beautifully because we provide that lab school component. But I'm not sure that there would be momentum to expand that. But there does need to be other creative, in a larger sense. As we think to the future, there have to be other creative ways to be able to fund early childhood programs so that they can remain affordable to those who need it. And it has been shown in research study after research study that the biggest impact that quality programs have on children is on children who come from lower income families, because they're coming into an enriched environment where there's a lot of language and there's a lot of adults supporting their growth. And so it ends up, having a big impact. So, yeah.
So do you guys partner with other early childhood development places in the area? Maybe.
Well, I don't know, partner so much, but we're definitely in communication and participate in professional development sometimes with other organizations. I would mention just briefly too, we are part of Quality First, which is a program of First Things First, and First Things First is a statewide, just in Arizona, initiative that it was a voter initiative that was passed back in 2006, and it's a tobacco tax. And so that tax is exclusively for supporting programs that serve children birth through 5. Health programs, education programs, a variety of programs. And so we do participate in that. They have a Quality First initiative to help programs receive, help them raise their quality, and then they rate those programs. And when you reach a certain star level, you're eligible for scholarship money. So another way that we get scholarship money. And we do have a 5-star rating, which is the highest rating of
Do you
the
get scholarship
program.
money from the foundation?
Yes, in a way we do, because the foundation helps us with contacts, and so there are several endowed funds that community members have set up through the foundation that fund scholarships for families at the center. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, Yavapai College really does really
They
help
do.
you guys out
Yes, they do.
with
And
not with the infrastructure and facilities, as well as with the funds that needed to do the programs.
yeah, and there's a commitment there to support students, and I think they see the the different ways in which our program does that.
That's excellent, excellent, excellent. So,
Yeah.
so the Lions gave you $32,000 for that program last year,
Yes.
and we're going to target it a little bit higher this year.
That would be great. Yes, we would love it. And really, and I just want to echo what you said, which is every dollar of that comes to our program, and it's going into scholarships. So it's really
Yeah. So people, when you're filling out on our Prescott Sunrise Lions Club.org website, send some money to Deli Webb. Even if it's not the whole 800, maybe you like big, maybe you like YEI or something like that. You give some to them, you give some to them. Every dollar helps. So I mean, we're gonna try to do that. We're trying to increase this even further. It's really
Thank
exciting.
you. Yeah, I appreciate.
I really love this tax credit program.
I do too.
And it's
Absolutely.
it's not around the country either. They don't do these tax credit programs around the country.
Yeah, no, especially so many of them. We have 5 in Arizona, and like you said, it's a way of deciding where you want your tax dollars to go.
Yeah, I'd rather them go to these programs here, to down to the state, where they waste it on what they want to waste it on. They choose what they want to spend it on. Okay, so, and keep in mind that this tax credit program is a little. There's a new law out there that if you didn't pay into some of these programs by, it's a federal law. It's only on the Fed. But it's going to be argued. There's going to be a fight about this. If you didn't do it by August 27th, then you can't use it on the federal return. However, not as a it wouldn't be a tax credit. It wouldn't be part of the tax credit. So, but it'll still be a charitable deduction. It's just, and I think they're going to fight it. So there's going to be a couple organizations that come into play that'll fight it. So we are the Prescott Sunrise Lions, and would like to invite you to our club meeting held at Waffles and More at 7 a.m. every Thursday. You find that our club is very friendly and fun, but also engaged in the Prescott and Prescott Valley communities, as well as the Tri-City area, really. We joke and laugh and fully understand our purpose in the community we serve. If you want to be part of such a group, then become a member of the club. 7 a.m. every Thursday at Waffles and More. I want to thank the Prescott Media Center, Jim, Linda, and Emma for helping us with this program today. I also want to thank you, Vickey Lamotte.
Thank you.
Co-director of the Del E. Webb Family Enrichment Center for running this wonderful and helpful program.
Thank
Thank you very much.